Hi everyone, welcome to this live. I should be streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, so I am just going to check. Yes, going live on Facebook. Let's just check YouTube as well. Yes, it says I'm going live on YouTube as well. So yes, I felt like popping on and doing some lessons in awakening through tarot wisdom. The tarot cards carry so much wisdom, which is basically, in my language, lessons in awakening. Lessons in awakening. So we will be talking a lot about lessons in awakening, which, as anyone that follows me on YouTube will know, I have a whole series on my YouTube channel called Lessons in Awakening. And this book is, I would say, an updated, lengthier version of that series of Lessons in Awakening. Oh, I've just realized I've got to check the comments. Oh, we've got people there already. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Oana. Ali. Excellent, excellent. You can hear me. Thank you very much. I always like to have that confirmed. And Louise. Hi, Louise. And first one to ask for a reading, Oana. Okay, so those of you that know the way that I work, I do like you to first of all ask, yes, please, because some people do like to just say hello, which is lovely. So if you are passing and scrolling and you want to say hello, but you don't want to stay, that's perfect. And also, I do appreciate the date of birth. And I know some people don't like to give that publicly, but hey ho, you'll get a better reading. Let's put it that way. You get a better reading if I've got your date of birth, because as you know, I'm not solely working with tarot. I'm also an energy reader. And so I can tune in more easily when I have your details. But I know Oana, yes, she's a fellow Virgo. And I don't know whether I can. Yeah, this is one of the problems I'm going to have, I think. Oh, no, I can. I didn't know whether I could move them around. I'm going to start with Oana. And we will see. New Year is a good time to have a reading, actually, because of the energies. But I don't think it's just really to do with New Year, because as a lot of you will appreciate, the New Year is actually in March. You've got Chinese New Year in the middle of February, which I read somewhere comes astrologically right between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. But the spring equinox is the new year, really, for astrologically, and also for the pagans, of course. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Because when the spring comes, you do feel like being more active. And of course, it comes in with the Emperor card, which is Aries, which is fire. So over Christmas, we've had Capricorn energy, which is earth. So it's stable, it's kind of solid, and and then we go into Aquarius, which is air. And then, of course, you go into Pisces. So Aquarius, you have these new ideas and everything. It's very communicative and mentally active. And then you've got Pisces, which is, of course, the spiritual flowy kind of one, which then gets you all ready. The way I look at it is January and February is very much preparation. It's not, doesn't mean we're not going to be doing anything. We're going to be doing quite a lot, I think, but we are preparing ourselves for this divine action, which is flowing through us in March. So I think a lot of people are going to be doing new things, new action, and this is our time to prepare. And when I say prepare, we're preparing on an internal level. So lots of solitude, meditation, time out and rest and all of these things, which is good in the winter when the weather's not very good. It's been raining all day here. But also mentally, because we can start thinking, about what it is that we want to do, or we can start meditating and seeing what inspiration comes in. And then, of course, it's the just going with the flow and detaching, which is a very Pisces thing to do, so that we're ready. So we're preparing on the inside, but we're also preparing, getting the ball rolling. Maybe we're meeting the people, maybe we're doing some renovations, maybe we're doing a bit of writing, maybe we're going to a few new classes, I don't know, but we're kind of preparing in that way as well. So I think March is the new year. But having said that, there's still an energy, whether it's programmed into us or not, that the new year starts now, and it does make us feel differently. Although that could also be the time off that we've had, and coming right in the middle of winter when we're kind of, hi Laura, long time no see. Laura, I do ask for the date of birth as well. I'm going to get on and do Oana first. Do we have some, it just came out. Do we have some guidance for Oana at this time of the Great Awakening? Thank you. Brilliant. Okay, so Oana, you've got two cards. They're both Pentacles, which is really good. So Pentacles is typically, it's Earth. It's the Earth element. It's typically in tarot for business, finances, and careers and money. But because we're moving into this new paradigm, or I want to say we have moved into this new paradigm, where really this is about abundance in all its glory. So we've got abundance in all its glory, because there is no point. Remember the old paradigm, if your business was making a lot of money, it was considered to be a success, regardless of how happy, healthy, or in love you were. Whereas now, we're looking for divine joy and peace and love for everything, being in love with life, but also financially secure. It's obviously all part of it. So I'm seeing Pentacles more as abundance in all of its glory rather than just money. I just wanted to make that clear. Now, the page came out first. Pages are opportunities and offers. And they have messages. They're like messengers. So there's an opportunity and an offer coming in for you, Oana, whereby you can make some money, but that isn't your priority, where you can feel abundant. And I think this is also, although it's not a cups card, which is emotions, because of this abundance, we're really wanting to follow emotional fulfillment. Emotional fulfillment is actually the most important thing, isn't it? Because if you're feeling emotionally fulfilled, then everything else falls into place, doesn't it? If you love yourself, you love what you're doing, you're in a state of joy, that's going to put your frequency at a level that is going to create in your holographic projection that you're calling life. It's going to create at that level. So you're going to create more joy and more health, more happiness, and all the things that you want, right? So so it's kind of, this is a beautiful one. This is a new opportunity coming in, that is going to give you a feeling of abundance. It's going to give you a feeling of emotional fulfillment, and it will make you some money. And this is an interesting point. I think this is an important point to make, especially with Pentacles, is that a lot of the reasons that people are not doing what their heart wants them to do or what their soul wants them to do is because they think they can't make enough money doing it. Or sometimes they think they can't make any money doing it. And I understand that completely. I mean, as someone who 10 years ago left the day job, and I thought to myself, there's no, I was doing the emotion code at the time, and I couldn't believe that I would be able to make the same money I was making in teaching as I did with the emotion code. And so that puts a lot of people off. But actually, the truth is that you don't need to make as much money, because when you take that leap of faith, there's this upthrust that comes and it carries you, and it will bring you all the things you need. It's just the way it works. You take a step towards what your soul wants you to do, and the universe will bring you everything you need. But you have to take the step first, because it sounds woo-woo, doesn't it? But it's actually, this is one of the things I am going to shamelessly plug this book all the way through this live, because one of the things that this book does is it takes these woo-woo spiritual lessons, as I've called them, and it backs them up with quantum science. So you've got the right brain, intuitive spiritual lessons or what have you, or the wisdom or what have you, but it's all backed up by the left brain quantum science as well. And I also pepper it with my own personal experiences that have kind of proved that quantum science and that spiritual lesson to myself. It's where I've seen it firsthand. So I talk very candidly about my own experience as well. But I think that's kind of an important point, because taking that leap of faith is what we all kind of need to do. And we're going to believe, like if you had told me 10 years ago that I would be self-sufficient, financially secure. I mean, not a millionaire, no, not a six-figure number in the bank, no. But if you had told me that I was going to feel and be more abundant than I've ever been in my life by reading tarot, I would never have believed you. So we do have to take that leap of faith and see what that energetic upthrust is going to bring for us. Because very often it's about spending less as well. And it's about your frequency, because your future is actually a mirror of your frequency, if we're going to talk from a quantum perspective. So everything that you're creating in your reality is a vibrational match to you, which is why it's so important to do what you love, because that raises your frequency. It's so important to feel excited and to be adventurous and to find your tribe and just to love everything, because it's that frequency of loving everything that's going to create your reality. And then everything in your reality is going to be lovely. If you're feeling the joy, everything will be joyful. And if you're feeling abundant, so my favorite affirmation, and I know, Oana, you've heard this one before, is galore, galore, I have everything I need and more. Galore, galore, I have everything I need and more. And when you say that, you can feel, like if you close your eyes, drop your shoulders and say it a few times, you can feel your frequency just rising. You can feel the expansion in the cells of your body. And that expansion is the frequency of abundance. And when you create that on the inside, that's when you create it outside. That's how it works. This is why quantum truths. So, Oana, go for it. You've got some opportunities coming in and some offers coming in. They really want you to say yes. And this, you're going to think you don't have everything you need. And it might not just be money, of course. Also, I think you're going to think, I'm not good enough, or I'm not ready to do that. There's a lot of that going on. A lot of, I don't think I'm ready to do these things. You've got the idea, but you don't think you're ready, which is fine. But you can get ready and you can feel ready really quickly. But it's about taking that first step, because this card, your second card, Oana, is the Seven of Pentacles, and he's reflecting on everything that he's accumulated. And he's accumulated a really big pile here. And this will be not just financial security and the abundance, but this will also be all the knowledge, all the books that you've read, all the videos that you've watched, all the podcasts that you've listened to, all the people that you've met, all the skills that you've accumulated. Okay, transferable skills, I want to say to you. You have a lot of transferable skills, and you're going to be using them in another direction, and you have everything you need already. But it's not about rushing and just dropping and throwing yourself in head first if that doesn't feel right, because when the timing feels right, you'll know it. You'll have that excitement inside of you. And you... Here's another affirmation, which is, I think, really powerful. I am ready and willing to allow my full potential. I am ready and willing to allow my soul's full potential. Or I am ready and willing to allow my destiny to unfold. Let's say these ones, because just by asking, you receive. Ask and you will receive. Who are you talking to? You're talking to your higher self. It could be your guides, your angels. It could be your galactic family. It could just be you. It doesn't matter. Talk to yourself in the mirror. But it's affirming that you are ready and willing to take that next step. And when you make that affirmation, it's like a quantum command when you really understand how affirmations work. Book 1, chapter 1, how to get affirmations to work for you. All the links are on my website. But yeah, this is about, understanding that when you affirm something to yourself and you really understand how affirmations work, then you believe them. And it's that belief, the power of belief. And that's why I kind of, affirmations, I call them now, well, they're beliefs, obviously, but also I call them quantum commands, because when you really believe, you can just say them as if this is true. This is the way it is. And when you do that, you're basically commanding to your energy field. That belief and that knowing that you have inside is what is directing your energy field. And we want to learn how to direct our energy field. It's like people talk about a movie and you being the director, but from a quantum perspective, it's very much about your energy field, the frequency of your energy field. And we do want to learn how to direct that energy, because it is that energy that's creating our reality. So we want to understand all of that, don't we? So yeah, this is beautiful, Oana. So I think there's somewhere you've been feeling a few doubts about it, but this is an opportunity or an offer coming in that you are ready for. And even if you feel that you're not ready, the universe will send you all the things that you need once you affirm that you're ready and willing to allow your full potential. I'm excited to hear more now. I want to know what else is going on. So I hope that's helped you, Oana. I'm going to have to scroll back and just have a look at a few. Hello, Jeffrey. Oh, Louise, you've got a lovely birthday, summer solstice. Hello, Glenda. Oh, missed you too, Oana. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Ali. Yes, Chinese celebrate the Lunar New Year rather than the Solar New Year. Oh, yeah, good point. And okay, so we've got Gemini, Laura Gregory. Laura Gregory, I am not believing your year of birth here at all. I'm reading now for Laura Gregory. Laura Gregory. Do we have any messages for Laura Gregory? 10th of June, 56, she says. She's a very good advert for the work that she does. Okay. Thank you. Yes, and it's funny as I said that, Laura, because you've got the King of Wands and he's top of his game. So let's have a little shameless plug here for Laura Gregory, who is a massage therapist and in the Marina Alta area. And she does lots of other treatments, I want to say, as well. And she's top of her game. So the King of Wands, kings are top of their game. And they have the experience, the understanding, the knowledge, all of that. And they enjoy what they do because wands are fire. And fire is passionate, it's bold, it's courageous, and it's physical action in the physical world. So this is showing you, basically, you've been very active, you've followed your passions all your life, and it's taken courage. You've taken a few leaps of faith already, but you have stuck to your guns and done what you love, and you're reaping the benefits now. But what is coming up, Laura, is a major arcana. So this is a major transformation for you coming in at this time, and it's the moon. Now, we had a full moon yesterday. And the moon in tarot can represent subconscious fears, but I see it more as an uncovering of deep-rooted emotions. Moon is emotions, and it rules Cancer, right? And these pillars show your destiny. And the dogs, there's a dog and a wolf, and they show the domesticated you and the wild you. And you could argue that it's the yin and the yang and the left and the right and the masculine and the feminine. I mean, it's the duality within all of us, and how we want to balance that. And this little creature coming out shows us the path of evolution and how our souls are evolving over time. The more we tap into who we really are, the more we follow our heart, the more we open up to this healing. And this is a very healing card, the moon. Now, some people would say, this belief that we keep needing to heal, when we're already healed. It's our belief that we need to be healed that's making us stuck. And I get that. I really do get that. But to me, when I say heal, I mean realize that you never needed healing. It's one of these things about, what they say about you have to read all of the books to realize that you didn't need to read all of the books. So you need to try all these healing modalities to then realize that you didn't need healing. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those. But this, Laura, it's a deep level healing. It's almost karmic what's coming up. So I think what's happening is you're being asked to go deeper into your journey and to look at things, not just, I was going to say a past life thing. It's not a past life thing. It's an other lifetime thing. It's not even other lifetimes, I want to say. I think it's about understanding yourself as a multidimensional being, because I think as Laura, you're human, right? So people say, you're a human with a soul, but actually we know that you're a soul with a human, right? Identifying, when you say I, who is I? Is it Laura or is it your highest self? So we're a multidimensional being, and which is one of the first chapters in Lessons in Awakening. And it's about identifying with your multidimensional nature, and realizing that Laura is your human who don't take this the wrong way, who is, from an energy perspective, the most dense part of you. But the truth is, our humans are dense in every way, really. And I say that from a place of love, not judgment, of course. But we have been born into a life of limitation. Our five senses are very limited. We know that because we know that we can't hear a dog whistle and a dog can hear it. Dogs can hear things that we can't hear. And we know that cats can see things. You know, when cats start going schizo, it's because they can see things that we can't see. It's quite naive to actually believe that the only things in existence are the things that we can see, hear, and feel with our limited human senses. But we did that for a reason, is to play the game and to have fun playing the game. But tapping into your multidimensional nature, I think, is really important, because I think where it helps you most, and I think this is relevant for you, Laura, where it helps you most is it helps you see Laura like a beautiful little girl. And I don't mean that condescendingly. I mean that when you see your human as a child, you start treating them like you would a child. And I remember when I did this, it's really helped me, because it helps me not judge Deborah. I talk in the third person. And when Deborah's really upset or emotional or she's feeling angry, I don't judge her. I don't tell her she shouldn't do it. I don't, whereas the old Deborah would beat herself up if she felt, a negative emotion, or if she had an argument with somebody, or if she did something she perceived as being wrong. Whereas a child that does something wrong, you don't beat them up, you don't have a go at them, you don't hold a grudge, you don't belittle them, you don't berate them, do you? You just say, okay, there's a better way maybe, but you still give them a cuddle, you still love them, you still make them feel safe and secure, don't you? So this is about you treating you, Laura, the way you would treat a little child. So put your arms around yourself and tell yourself that you've done a really good job, because you have. And as humans, we're doing it against all odds in this density, incarnated in the density that we came into this world in. I mean, if you think about the old paradigm and all the systems that were built on greed and manipulation and control, and not on divine love and not on divine truth, then we've done really well. So look at yourself, look at your human, have a look in the mirror and just tell her how wonderful she is, because I think this is what is coming up. You are top of your game, and the portal, I don't know, some words are coming to me now, the portal that you're being asked to go through now to this next level, and the next stage of your awakening, if that's the right word, is to love yourself more, to love yourself and hold space for yourself, because you hold space for everybody, right? You're always holding space, your clients, your kids, you're always the community. So this is about you holding space for you. And I think it's important to remember, Laura, that there is only you creating your reality. I know there are other people in your reality, but they're all following your direction, as in they're all following your frequency. So if, for example, you have, let's say you have a little bit of anger in yourselves, and we can all have a little bit of anger. I mean, we're not angry people, right? But we can think and remember a situation in our life whereby we felt angry, and then we can start, or we could look at something online, can't we, and get triggered. And then you find this anger is in us, even if we're not angry people. And if it's coming up for acknowledgement, because it wants to be acknowledged, because it wants to be felt, because it wants to be processed, because the emotions, if they're stuck in us, it's like water that is stagnant and it goes bad, and everything is energy. It wants to move in cycles. So when we have these old emotions that we haven't expressed fully, they get stuck in our body and they cause illness and disease and all sorts of things, malfunction. So when it's coming up for acknowledgement, we need to feel it to heal it. I say, you need to feel it and process it without shame, without guilt. We don't need to scream and shout at other people. We can just feel it in ourselves, and the emotion leaves again, doesn't it? So understanding that when that's ready for acknowledgement, what often happens is the frequency of that anger, which is a contracting frequency. If you look at the scale of consciousness, it's on the scale of consciousness at 150, and 200 is neutrality, but we won't go into that now. But I talk about the map of consciousness in the Lessons in Awakening, the work of Dr. David Hawkins. But if that anger is coming up for attention, the way it will work is that the frequency of it that is within you will get reflected back to you. So there will be somebody in your reality making you feel angry, but they can't make you feel angry. Nothing can make you feel angry. The anger is yours. So what's happening is the angry person or the angry situation, what it's actually doing is it's a vibrational match to the anger that's already within you. So rather than push it down, because we get told that it's not good to be angry, right? Well, that was awful, because that's why humanity has so much suppressed anger. You can see it everywhere. It's okay to feel angry. It's just that obviously we don't want to go around punching people. But we need to feel it to heal it. And we need to understand that it's our anger, and that we can, by putting our consciousness on it, we can actually process that so that it actually leaves our energy field. So when you're triggered by someone and the anger comes up, this is about working with that emotion on your own. And actually, the paradox of it all is you think that person made you angry, but actually they were a vibrational match to the anger within you. And also they're showing you that it's there, so we can actually thank them for the gift that they've given us. And we could go, so someone could be ranting and raving at you, and you don't have to react. You don't even have to respond. But what I would do is I would just go, oh, okay. So I've got some frequency in me that is coming up because of that, but it's got nothing to do with the trigger. In fact, it has got something to do with the trigger. They're actually helping us. The person triggering you is actually helping you. It's almost like they're saying, look, you've got this trapped emotion in the cells of your body, and I'm letting you know that it's there. So then you can go, oh, thank you. Thank you, angry person. Thank you for showing me that I have that anger. And then you can go off and feel the anger calmly, whatever, punch a pillow, do whatever you want, but process it, take responsibility for it. That's what it is. Take responsibility for it, because that moon card is a deep level. This is deep level healing. And it's also, the moon card is also about the subconscious, because you don't know it's there until somebody triggers you. So the moon is subconscious. It's shadow, isn't it? So it's about working with those triggers. And understanding triggers is another chapter in Lessons in Awakening. Here it is. And the links to buy the book are all at my website, deborahjanesutton.com. And you can scroll down and find the Amazon site for where you live. I hope that helps. Laura, thank you so much. Sending you so much love at this time. Okay, let's have a little read. Hello, Helen Marie. Welcome. Hello, Kelly Scott. Long time. It's been a while since I've seen you live. It's been a while since I've heard from you. And you're on YouTube. Fantastic. Hello, Wendy. You're very welcome, Moana. You are ready. You're definitely ready. You're very welcome, Laura. Yes, I know, Laura. I worked that out. Unbelievable. Yes, I did, Hazel. I'm just having a read. I probably won't be able to read for everybody, but trust that a message will come for you. Sometimes what I get a lot of messages from people saying that you didn't get around to reading for me, but what you said to somebody else really resonated. So keep your ears open, because to be honest with you, a lot of these messages, the tarot wisdom, it's wisdom for all of us at some time or another. After the cancer, I definitely need to heal. Oh, wow. Yes. There you go. I didn't know about that. But yeah, this is your time. Deep level healing. Definitely. Now, you may not want to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. But when I said trapped emotions cause illness, disease, and malfunction, and very often those trapped emotions, if we've pushed them down, and sometimes they're completely subconscious. It could be from childhood and we don't know we've done it. We've been hurt, and the resentment, the bitterness, it's in the cells of our body, and then we just get on with life. And especially in your line of work where, you know, you've got to have that smile on your face all the time, it's very easy to keep those emotions pushed down. But when we do that, that is actually what makes us sick. So I would definitely say, Laura, that some emotion code, definitely work with emotions. Emotion code. Now, I also want to say, apart from doing this free live on my YouTube channel, I have a whole load of free content. I also want to remind you that my first book, which is called Heal Yourself to Happiness, it's free to download from my website at deborahjanesutton.com. So Laura, if you haven't already read that, download a free copy. If you want the real book, it's, I can't remember what price it is, but it's cost price from Amazon. I've got it as cheap as I can have it. But the PDF version is free to download from my website, because I am so passionate about helping people understand the power of their own energy and the importance of emotional healing. And it talks about affirmations, gratitude, the sway test. It talks about the emotion code and stuff like that. And also on my channel, if you go down to the self-healing techniques, I've also got videos on the sway test, muscle testing, and the emotion code. So it's a self-healing technique. You can read that, follow the videos, and work on it yourself. If after a while you want to book a coaching session, book a coaching session. One coaching session will be probably enough to get you up and running with that. And then you can work on yourself, because I'm really passionate about helping people heal themselves, which is why it's called Heal Yourself to Happiness. So yeah, check that out, because I think that's what the moon card was saying. It's a deep level. Let's get those emotions that may have caused you to be poorly in the first place, and to process them. And another, I want to recommend a book as well, Laura. There's this amazing book that I love called Love, Medicine, and Miracles. And it's by someone called Bernie Siegel. And he was a cancer physician in America. And he was looking at a load of cancer patients and looking at the ones that survived and the ones that didn't. And he was working out why, you know, because it wasn't this crossing your fingers and going, I hope it doesn't come back. It's about making life changes. And a lot of people naturally do that anyway, because when you're faced with something like that, you do tend to change your life a bit. You start thinking life is too short, so you start doing what you love more, and things like that. But I would recommend that book as well, Love, Medicine, and Miracles by Bernie Siegel. I think it's going to help you. I am sending you so much love, Laura. Simona, true. Our humans are too intense. What a shame. Love your unique quotes. Happy New Year, my dear. Okay, Happy New Year to you, Simona. This is all making sense. Good. I am glad it's making sense to you. Lovely. And reach out, darling, because, you know, I am really happy to help with anything on that kind of level. Yes, Hello. A lot of people calling me Jane, which is fine, but my name is Deborah Jane. I don't know, Deborah Jane. I put the Jane in when I wrote my first book because there was another Deborah Sutton who had written some self-healing books, and Google got us confused. So I put the Jane in, which is funny because it reminded me of something that my Reiki master said to me many, many years ago. She said, if you don't use your full name, how can you expect to fulfill your full potential? I don't think there's any logic in that, but it just stuck with me. And so I used my full name. But anyway, you can call me Jane. I don't have a problem. Someone's calling me Amanda. Sonia Parry. Yes, I'm definitely not an Amanda. Deborah or Jane or both. I thought it was Deborah, just got confused and thought I must be wrong. Oh, because somebody else called me Jane. Yeah, I think Simona calls me Jane all the time. It doesn't matter really. I'm just going to scroll back up because I know I've missed a few people. And let's read for Louise. Louise. Yes, I said to you, Louise, you've got a lovely birthday, and I didn't read for you. Louise Cottrill. I think I've read for you before, haven't I? Louise Cottrill, 21st of June. Louise Cottrill. Do we have any guidance for Louise Cottrill? Louise Cottrill, 21st of June. Whoa! I like it when the cards do that because it's kind of like makes it really clear. Whoa! Wow. This is interesting, Louise, because you've got two, what I would call completely opposite cards here. So I think this is actually a follow-on from what I was just saying to Laura about this higher self and human, because you've got the Hanged Man. I know it doesn't sound very nice. This is Louise Cottrill. The Hanged Man, who is actually a really positive card. The guidance, the rays around his head show spiritual guidance and enlightenment. He's completely enlightened. I think he's hanging from the tree of truth. He's all about looking at things from a different perspective, which is why he's upside down. I'm a big fan of headstands, but if you're not trained to do headstands, then I suggest you don't just try one. But you can just lie over the edge of your bed, or just lean over, do a forward fold, and just be upside down for a while. It is kind of fun to look at things from another perspective. But what he's really doing is he's looking at things from a higher perspective. So this is carrying on from what I was saying to Laura about looking down at your human experience as exactly that, as being the human experience, and that you came here to have a human experience, which involves mastering yourself through your thinking and your emotions, and to raise your frequency and to see things from a different perspective, of course. So the other message with this card is about not forcing action, because very often when you're stuck in your humanness, your human life, and you're not remembering that you're a multidimensional being, and you're just trying to get things done, and you're operating from that, within that density that I referred to before, everything can feel like an effort. And often it feels like you're pushing a rock up a hill. Whereas when you step back and just allow and trust that your destiny is unfolding as your soul has chosen, trust that your soul has chosen it's the best path for you, and that your soul's destiny is actually for you to express your soul's blueprint, to be in alignment with your soul's blueprint. That's where your abundance lies. That's where our healing, where everything, our joy and everything lies is by actually doing what our soul wants us to do and not what our programming wants us to do. And so when you take time out, stillness, because he's still, he's not moving, he's not like a no action, because he's so enlightened and in his flow that when action is necessary, it flows through him, not from him. When action comes from the human, that's when it's tiring and it exhausts us. But when that action comes, it's divine action, and it comes through us, that's our divinity flowing through us. That's the power of God flowing through us. So it makes you feel energized, and it expands you and raises your frequency and makes you feel amazing. So he does take action. It's just that it's choiceless. He doesn't have to think about it. Have you ever been in that situation whereby, you were in your own little mind and then you just did something? It just happened easily. I mean, it's happened a few times with me. There's a few technical things that I've done, and I've looked back and thought, I don't know how I did that. But obviously I was meant to do them at the time, and I was in my flow and they just came through me. So it's a really good state to be in. And he can also look at his human without the judgment, like we talked before, about looking at your human like a child and loving her and holding space for her and not beating her up and not judging her and not berating her or belittling her, and just being there in a supportive capacity and letting her feel all of the emotions. It's not about hiding the emotions. A lot of us, we were brought up to think that if someone's crying, we've got to hug them and stop them from crying. See, that's something that would never happen. If anyone that's had a session with me will know that, if you cry, I'm like, yeah, good, brilliant, well done. Because crying is the body's natural biological mechanism to process these emotions that are causing harm in our bodies. So it doesn't have to be crying. It can be laughter as well, and it can be breath, obviously, and meditation. And there's loads of ways, obviously, of releasing these trapped emotions, but crying is a good one. But anyway, back to the card. So he takes action when it's necessary. He takes action when it's choiceless, I want to say. If you're sitting there trying to make a decision about something, the chances are that it's not the right time to make the decision. Because unless it's limiting beliefs that are holding you back. But I think when you're in your divine flow, the action that you take is effortless and it's choiceless. It's like you're going to do it because you can't not do it. Like my decision to come on live, I was like, no, I want to do it. I'm going to do it. It was just like, I didn't have to sit there and go, shall I, shan't I, shall I? It was just like, no, I want to do it. I'm going to be uncomfortable if I don't. Do you see what I'm getting at? Now, I started off by saying, Louise, this is like your higher self talking to your human, because this is your enlightened higher self who knows all of this, knows all the wisdom, right? But your second card is the Eight of Swords. Now look at her, bless her. She's feeling very trapped, and swords are air and they represent mental processes. So this is your own thinking. Now, the goals in life are represented in tarot through the castle, and you can see the castle is in the background, and she's blocked from her goals because of her own thinking. Now, if you think about it, all of our suffering boils down to how we think. That we think something is wrong. We think something shouldn't be a certain way. Or we think we're not good enough, or something like this. A lot of this suffering, Louise, is your thinking that things should be different. And this is actually what causes us the most suffering, is when we argue with reality. When something happens in your human experience and we argue with it, or we look at it and we conclude that it's wrong or bad and it shouldn't be like that. Now, obviously, we are going to see some things that are immoral, and so we're going to judge them as bad. But he's saying, Louise, can you look at things from a different perspective? So I'm going to use this analogy of going into like a supermarket, a department store, but it's a multi-story one. Okay, so this is what you're being asked to do, Louise. When you walk into this department store, on the ground floor, there's all these things that you want, but you can't afford them. So you just have to look. But when you look out of the window at the street, you can see all like the horrible things. You might see some nice things. There might be, a little girl skipping or something, but you're also going to see people arguing. You're going to see dogs pooing on the pavement. You're going to see unhappy people. There's going to be things, really close up that maybe are not pleasant to look at. And all you can see are like the other buildings and the pollution and things like that. Now, let's go to another level. Okay, so you go into the lift and you go up that department store to the next level. Now, there are things there that you can afford. You can't afford everything, but you can afford things there. And there are things that you want and need, and you can afford some of them. And you look out of the window and you can still see the street, but now you can see the tops of the trees that are in the street. So you can see a little bit of fruit on them. And when you look down, you can't quite make out if that couple are arguing or if they're kissing, and there's someone walking the dog, but you can't tell whether they're being nice or not nice to the dog. You just see someone walking a dog. It's without an emotion and it's without a judgment. Do you see what I'm getting at? Now, if you go back in the lift and you go to another level of perception and you're looking down now there are things there and you can afford them because you're now feeling really abundant and you can afford the things there, and there are things that you can use and you're happy, and you go to the window and now you can actually see over the top of the other buildings, and you can see a little bit of sky and it's blue and it's pretty. And now when you look down, there's just these little figures moving around. You can't make a judgment about them because you're just looking at them as that's just the human experience. That's just the human experience going on. There might be some arguing, there might be some kissing. There might be someone loving their dog, there might be someone hitting their dog. But you can't tell now. You're just looking and you're going, that's the human experience. And we all came here to have a human experience, and we learn and we grow through our human experience, and we learn and we grow through our suffering. That's what wakes us up, our suffering. And we mentioned this before, didn't we, with Laura? When you get a diagnosis like that, it wakes you up. So now a lot of people will look back and they'll see their suffering as actually being a blessing. Now, if you go back in the lift and you go to the top floor, you look out of the window, you just see the sea, you see the sun, you see the sky, you see the tops of the trees, you see the mountains. It's so beautiful. And there's everything you could ever want or need, but, well, you don't need anything anymore because needing nothing attracts everything. Needing nothing attracts everything. So there's everything there, but you don't need anything because you have everything. You are everything. Everything that you've ever needed, you already have. Everything that you've ever wanted to be, you already are. And now that human experience is just it's a significant part of the journey, but it's there. It's like, it's not to be judged. You know, you can hardly make it out. That's what he's like. He's not focusing. He's not focusing his attention on all the gritty things in the density. He's just focusing on the beauty and abundance. Now she is focusing on all the gritty things. She's on the ground floor. He's on the top floor. Can you see? Does that analogy help at all? So you're being asked to look at life from a higher level of consciousness, because a lot of these beliefs that she's got herself trapped in are actually her own thinking. She might be thinking, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, I've got to do it this way, I've got to be this way, I've got to behave this way. But it's her that's actually causing her own suffering. And I'm going to give you some homework as well. As I've already mentioned, there is a series on my YouTube channel called Self-Healing Techniques. And the fourth video there is called How to Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind. And she needs to reprogram her subconscious mind. It's all free. It's all there on my channel. In the description of that video, there's a whole load of beliefs. So you read through the beliefs, you see which ones. If you read a belief and you feel expanded, it's because you're in alignment with the frequency of it. So you don't need to install that one. But when you read a belief, like, I love myself, I love and accept myself. If you read these beliefs and you feel some kind of contraction, or you want to cry or laugh or grimace or whatever, then that's because you're not in alignment with the frequency of that belief. And that's when you need to install it. So you read them until you find one that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, like some of the beliefs that she has. And then you follow the brain integration activities from the video, and you can install that belief and release the negative, underlying negative belief. So this is about you looking at life from this lens rather than this lens. It doesn't mean that this lens is wrong. It's not about right and wrong. But it is about taking responsibility for understanding that you create your reality from the frequency of your thoughts and your emotions. And this is her thinking. So I'm not good enough, low frequency belief. You'll create from that. I can't do it this way, low frequency belief. I can't, it's always a low frequency belief. Who was it that said it? Henry Ford. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're going to be right. Because when we say I can't do something, then we can't do it. If we say we can, and you know this from Spain, to be able to, poder is the word for power. Our power lies in us saying that we can do things. So yeah, there's a few limiting beliefs here. But check out that video, How to Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind. And again, like I said to Laura, if you want to do as much as you can through my free content, and then if you need a coaching session, get in touch. I'd be happy to help. But there's plenty there to help you with that kind of thing, especially with the books as well. As I said, the first book is free, like I said already. The second book is available from Amazon. And my third book, Lessons in Awakening. I can't give everything away for free. It's hardly expensive. But I do recommend it, because one of the reasons that I felt compelled to write it was so many people want to better their life, want to create a better world, and want to live in peace. But until we really understand how we create our reality, then we don't know what to do in order to change things, because we've heard it before. The change has to happen within. We hear it, don't we? But people don't really understand it. No, it's 100% true. It's a quantum truth, because everything outside of you is a vibrational match to you. So raising your frequency is the most important thing that you can do. for yourself. Because it's that raising your frequency that's going to not only improve your reality, but it's going to expand you into a higher level of consciousness, which is enlightenment. I hope that helps, Louise. I hope that helps. I am sending you so much love. And I'm going to scroll on down. I'm going to go for Ali Mills, because you commented on you commented on the post I put, didn't you? I don't know if I know you or not, if I've read for you before. But your birthday is so close to the spring equinox. What a beautiful birthday. And what beautiful card that just jumped out. I love it when that happens. Yes, so close to the spring equinox. Things are going to be happening around your birthday. They really are. Can we have some guidance for... So that would be Pisces then still. You're still in Pisces on the 16th of March, aren't you? Isn't that funny? I just want to check that in my head. It is Pisces, isn't it? Because the 21st of March would be Aries, which is the beginning of the new astrological calendar. So yeah, Pisces, and the card that just flew out is Pisces. The High Priestess is Pisces. I love it. You can't make this stuff up, can you? Well, a lot of people do. But well, on some level, we're all making all of it up. Okay. This is very similar, actually. I have to say, this is very similar. I'm now reading for Ali Mills. 2 cards have come out. Although they're different cards, I'm feeling like there's a similar message going on here. There's different messages for individuals, but there's a theme that runs through when I do lives like this. And I can see that theme. It's probably a message for me as well, of course, because everything's a mirror. So you've got the High Priestess. This is for Ali Mills. She's the most intuitive card in the deck. She's the most psychic card in the deck. And she is Pisces, which is spiritual and flowing. Now, we've got a moon here, and you can see that the moon is tethered at her feet. Now, we had the moon before, didn't we, with Laura? And it symbolizes subconscious fears. But the fact that this moon is tethered at her feet shows us that the High Priestess has, she's mastered her emotions, and she's got her fear under control. She's not pushing it down. She's not suppressing it. She's not denying it. She knows that fear is there. She's allowing it, but she's not letting it control her. That's the point. She's also well read. Can you see? She's reading the scriptures. Now, those scriptures, of course, are the ancient wisdom scriptures. Today's world, I often say it would be like Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, Robert E. Grant. These are, I don't know, these are the scriptures, the writings, I would say Lessons in Awakening. She has studied the wisdom in the ancient texts, and she understands how the universe works. She understands her role in it. She understands how to raise her frequency. She understands how to manipulate energy. Now, the word manipulate obviously has a negative connotation. We need to take that away, because manipulate, I mean direct. I used the word direct before, didn't I? Yes. So how to use your energy in the most productive way. That's what I want to say. Now, these pomegranates show abundance. You've got the black and white here, which shows the duality of the physical world. And she is living right there in the duality of the physical world. Yet she's living in total abundance, fearless, well-read, psychic, intuitive. She's living her best life, basically. She's a major arcana card, so she's very powerful. So this is coming up as showing who you really are. The last chapter in this book is remembering who you really are. So she is who you really are. Now, the card that came up with it is the Five of Pentacles. Now, the fives in tarot, they are the cards of adversity. You can see that these people are not very healthy, they're not very wealthy, and they're out in the cold. So the Five of Pentacles is actually the scarcity card in tarot. And as I've said before, with Pentacles, it's about money, but not just money, but it's about feeling down on your luck. But my interpretation of this card is scarcity thinking. You cannot have scarcity and lack in your life if you don't have scarcity and lack in your thinking. So this is about reprogramming. You know, if you have a belief that money is hard to come by, then money will be hard to come by. Okay, so if you have a belief, and it was so programmed into us when we were younger, wasn't it? Money doesn't grow on trees, you know, that we were told that. And it's like, money doesn't have to grow on trees. I just need to feel abundant to be able to create it in my reality, because your reality is a holographic projection of you. So we just have to feel grateful and feel, yeah, just if you're grateful for everything that you've got, then that frequency of gratitude will be reflected back to you in with more things to be grateful for. It's a like attracts like, whichever way you want to look at it. It's not like we're actually attracting it. You're creating it. You're a creator being. And so this card is reminding you of your multidimensional nature and who you really are at a soul level: powerful, psychic, intuitive, in alignment, living your best life within the density of the duality of the physical realm. And this card is saying, don't draw attention to your weaknesses. You know, this is about, don't focus on the bits that aren't working. Don't focus on the money that you haven't got. Focus on what you have got. Galore, galore, I have everything I need and more. You have everything you need. If you look back, you always have. Galore, galore, I have everything I need and more. So this is more, this is like the girl with all the feeling trapped. This is a feeling of lack, but it's based on your own thinking. It's based on your perception, because she's not living in lack. And this is who you really are. So these are just thoughts that are keeping you in a state of lack thinking, like I don't have enough, I need more, I need to be better, I need to live in a bigger house, or I need more clients, or I need more money, or I need, you know, if you're living in lack. And a lot of these business places you see on Facebook, don't you, all these business ones, how to increase your clients, how to increase your income, they're all based on lack, because you've got enough clients and you've got enough income. And if you focus on trying to increase it all, what you're actually doing is focusing on the fact that you don't have enough. Whereas when you are grateful for everything you have and you focus on the fact that you are enough and that you have enough, that frequency of feeling enough is what's going to create enoughness in your reality. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So this is about, understanding your multidimensional nature and looking at things from her perspective and not from the density of this human experience. It's about zooming out and observing your life as if you were a witness to it, as if you were an observer. What would an observer say? You know, when there's a problem or a struggle, can you just take your zoom out and have a look? It makes the struggle seem less challenging. It makes the difficult times seem not so difficult. Does that make sense? Let me know, Ali. I'm just reading some comments. Hi, Debbie. Okay. Oh, you still made it, Debbie. You still made it. I'll do a reading for you quickly. I'm just reading the comments. Oh, it's the first time you've had a reading, is it, Ali? Okay, I hope that made sense. Yeah, I do. Yeah, you're Pisces. I thought so. It was funny how that card just fell out. Yeah, I that's why I call it tarot wisdom readings. I don't do predictions because the only thing I'm going to predict is that your frequency is going to create your reality. So let's focus on your frequency. Oh, wow, she says. Oh, you have been in the Five of Pentacles. It's been a nightmare. Right. So, Ali, galore, galore. I have everything I need and more. Galore, galore. I have everything I need and more. Okay. Oh, galore, galore. I am everything I need to be and more. You can change it to that. Galore, galore. I am everything I need to be and more. Oh, bless you, Ali. Thank you so much. Right, Debbie, did you give me a date of birth? I can't remember. I think you did. Yes. Let me just go back and have a quick look. There you are. December the 11th. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Bit of fire. Bit of fire. Let's go. Sagittarius, Debbie. Debbie Cavill, 11th of December. Do we have a message for Debbie Cavill? 11th of December. 11th of December. Do we have a message for Debbie Cavill? Okay. You've been running around. You've been running around, Debbie. I can feel. Okay, so let's just take a couple of breaths. I think you've been running around. You're a little bit stressed. Let's just tune in a little bit, Debs. Drop your shoulders, back straight, feet flat on the floor. Inhale, feel the belly expanding. Exhale slowly. Feel the shoulders dropping as you exhale. Now, when you inhale, feel the belly expanding. Feel, then actively open up the chest cavity and the heart. Maximize your life force and exhale slowly. Just do a couple more breaths, Debbie, to get any tension and any stress released. Coming into the now moment, focusing on your heart. Focusing on your heart. You're very welcome, Ali. Focusing on your heart, Debbie. Little time out, little few breaths coming into who you are. I'm getting this feeling that you've been running around like a headless chicken. I don't like that expression. I need to find another one, but you know what I mean, don't you? There we go. There we go. That feels a bit better. Right, that's the one that wanted to come out. Wow. Glad we took those breaths, Debbie, because these are really, really lovely cards. The first card is the 10 of Cups, which is happy families. You have been busy. Yes, I know. I could feel it. I could feel it. First piece of advice, Debbie, just take a little pause. Yes, the pause. I talk about that in this book as well. The power of the pause. Literally a minute, like we've just done. You just stop, feet flat on the floor, back straight, eyes closed, hand on your belly, breathe and feel the belly expanding like we've just done. Exhale as slowly as you can. And then the next inhalation, feel the belly expanding, and then consciously, you're opening up the rib cage, but I like to say heart, of course. Not going like this, just allowing more life force. Exhaling as slowly as you can. Feel the shoulders dropping, coming into your heart space. Remember who you are. Remember, you're a creator being. Remember, if you're frazzled, Debbie, you're going to create from a state of frazzlement. I don't know. My English goes out the window. If you're feeling frazzled and you maintain that feeling, you're going to create from that feeling. We're going to, however we're feeling in any moment, is our contribution to not only our own reality, but to the collective. Do you want to contribute frazzlement? That's not a word, it is now, to the collective or to your reality? No, you don't. So that pause, the power of the pause. Okay? So you've got the 10 of Cups. Cups is emotional, it's spiritual, it's loving, it's creative. And I want to say we've literally just done that. So what we've just done is heart-centered. Cups is heart-centered. We've just taken your busy energy field and just brought it back to the heart. Just, you've got a no there. I don't know what the no is for, but just bringing it back to the now moment and focusing on who you really are. And look how quickly you can do that. And that's what the Cups is, because this is happy families. And there's your family, right? And it can be blood family, tribe, or what have you. The rays, remember, they show spiritual guidance. And the Cups is following your heart. There's a reminder here that when we feel frazzled or stressed, it could be from helping your family, because I know you do a lot to help your family. I want you to remember that we can help our families more when we are coming from a place of peace and a heart-centered approach. So that pause for yourself is not selfish, it's crucial. And it's actually it's selfless, because that pause to get yourself into a good place is obviously going to help your family, because your family are in your reality and they're going to be directed by your frequency. So wouldn't you prefer to direct your family through love? No, I don't want to send out frazzlement. I do help my elderly mother. Yes, this is what it's about, because you're better off being a little bit late with a task and then helping from that place of expansion, that place of unconditional love, that place of gratitude and appreciation, helping from a place of overflow. Now, when we're helping people like that, it's very easy to drain ourselves. And then when we go to help, we're helping from only half full. It's like your glass is only half full and you're having to give that half full glass to your mother. And that's why you're feeling exhausted, and that's why you're feeling frazzled. So it is going to help your mother by you taking more pauses. The power of the pause. I know I definitely had a section called the power of the pause, but I don't know whether I kept it in the book. I need to have another look. But this power of the pause, it keeps you in alignment with who you really are, and it keeps you focused on your heart. And it gives you that reminder that your frequency and your energy is everything. It is everything. You can't turn around and say, oh, I haven't got time because I've got to look after my mum. Because by just having the power of that pause, it's 3 breaths. If you have time, do more, obviously. But everyone's got time for 3 breaths. You can have those 3 breaths while you're washing dishes or something, But what it's going to do is it's going to help you serve your mother better, because you're coming from an expanded state of being and not from a place of depletion. And it is so simple. But understanding it and the power of the pause. Obviously, if you have time, you're going to take a lot more pauses, do some meditation, gentle qigong or something, whatever. But for now, the way that I'm feeling tuned into you, it's about just taking that pause and that breath and bringing yourself back to understanding that you are a creator being, and that you're serving out of joy and gratitude and love. And you're not serving out of obligation, or over responsibility. It's really important because you haven't got the 10 of Wands, which is when you take on too much responsibility. So this isn't about taking on too much responsibility. It's probably a karmic cycle that you're completing at this time. And it's all good. It's all okay. This card is saying, perceive it in a different way. Make sure that you're coming from a place of expansion, from a place of love, because your second card is the Chariot, which is a major arcana card, and he's a moving on card, but he's moving on to a higher level of consciousness, because they got the black and white, which, remember, shows the duality of the physical realm. But you've also got the heaven and the stars and the moon in the canopy, which shows the heavens. And what he's doing is he's bringing heaven to earth. We as humans are the bridge between heaven and earth, because we are the creator beings. We are creating the reality. So when we can do it from this level of consciousness, and not, this is the theme that's been running through the live today. When we're doing it from a level of consciousness, when we're dealing with these difficult situations, these demanding, I want to say, situations in the physical world, when we can do it from our heart space, then it helps us expand into all of who we are. And this heaven is unconditional love. This is the unconditional love that you are. And it's that power of that pause that taps you back in to the love that you are, because you never lost it. It's who you are. And then you're bringing that into this physical realm with your mum. Does that make sense? There's a little pause needed every now and again, just to keep yourself focused on operating from the heart, and not depleting yourself, I want to say. You got goosebumps, you love it. And the other thing I just want to share as well, Debbie, is that if we have resentment for what we're doing, which is easily done, however much we love our family, but when we're drained, it's easy to then feel the resentment. And of course, that resentment isn't good for us, but the resentment shows that you have resistance to what is. And a lot of our stress when we're looking after someone like that, a lot of our stress actually comes from our resistance to what is. Us thinking that things have to be a different way. And when we release that resistance and we accept that it's okay, paradoxically, that's when things change. Because what you resist persists. So if you're feeling resentment and you have resistance to what's happening, to your role, then it's going to carry on. Whereas when you can release the resistance and just accept what is, that's when you can expand, and the Chariot comes in, because that's when you can expand. And when you expand, you're moving into higher levels of consciousness. It's about reframing the way you perceive your situation. It's not about changing your situation. It's about changing the way you think and perceive your situation. Perception. Chapter 4, Lessons in Awakening, Perception. Perception is everything. Now, Debbie, you've got my other 2 books. I know. So get this one as well. I think it would be good for you. And sadness and grief. And it's interesting, Ali, that you mentioned the sadness and grief, because I really learnt this one recently. Makes so much sense, as there was a repetitive incident before. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a bit of a paradox, isn't it? But this sadness and grief that they are brilliant. Thank you. This one's even more brilliant. um, so Ali's talking about sadness and grief, and this came up recently for me because I've just sold the garden retreat, which Debbie's been to. And I felt quite sad. I did have a few tears, which is fine. But then I realized that that wasn't sadness that I was feeling. It was love. Because you can't have sadness without love. You need the love to understand the sadness, and you need the sadness to understand the love. And I remember thinking, this isn't sadness that I'm feeling about leaving the garden retreat. It was love. It was love for the garden retreat, love for everything that had happened, love for all the souls that have walked through the gates, including Debbie, love for everything that made the garden retreat what it was. And the love that the perfect guardian came to take over. I mean, it was all so perfect that I realized that that sadness and grief that I was feeling was actually love. And it works on a deeper level. You know, when we lose our loved ones, if you're grieving, it is part of the human experience, but it's important to grow through our grief rather than let the grief make us sick, because you're going to grieve, right? And I'm not saying, you know, the grief is born out of love, obviously, because if you don't love someone, you're not going to grieve when they pass. Or it's not just about people passing. There's grief when we lose a job, or sometimes when we move house, or when our kids leave home. And I mean, there's all sorts of different ways that, you know, there's grief when our life changes in ways that we weren't expecting. But it's okay. It's about realizing that grief is love. I mean, everything is love. And I know that sounds a bit woo-woo, but it's true. Read the book. It's got quantum science behind it. Yeah, it was a special day, Debbie. I agree with you. So I don't know whether you've heard, but yes, I've passed it over now to new hands, which is why I've got more time to work online and stuff like this. But when you identify that the sadness and the grief is actually love, and you don't judge yourself for feeling it, it's perfect. But you can grieve from a place of fear. What am I going to do now? You know, how am I going to live? Or, you know, again, this is wrong. Judging it as wrong, and it shouldn't be like that. Arguing with reality again. Or you can feel grief from an expanded state of love, where, yes, you can cry your little heart out, but it's because you love that person, or you love that place, or whatever it might be. Oh, hi, Christine. Thank you. So yeah, it's about still feeling the sadness and the grief, but doing so from an expanded state of awareness, remembering that you are the love, and that when you're operating from that frequency of love, then grieving actually becomes a beautiful part of the human experience, because it's such a deep and profound expression of love. You can perceive it that way. And when you perceive it that way, it expands you even more. And if it is a passed over loved one, the chances are you're going to be able to communicate with them, because you've got your frequency so high, you can match their non-physical consciousness again. But if you're in a state of fear, and this shouldn't be this way, and it's wrong, and you put yourself in victim mode, and you express your grief at that level, that's when it's going to cause illness, disease, and malfunction within the cells of your body. That's when it's going to keep you in a state of contraction and cause suffering. So yes, I don't know why you mentioned that, Ali, actually, the sadness and the grief, but yeah, it just helped me go off on that one. Enjoy your family, Christine. So lovely to see you, hear from you, Debbie. Thank you, everybody who has commented. I am sorry I can't get round to everybody. I've been on for an hour and a half now. That's plenty. And if you would like to book a private reading, my private readings, they include the healing, the soul reading, the tarot wisdom, and we can tune in and really help you expand into more of who you are and to remember who you really are. Go to the website, deborahjanesutton.com, order the book. And if you do read the book and enjoy it, please go back to Amazon and leave a review. That would be very helpful. So I am sending you all so much love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I hope these messages have landed, and I look forward to the next one. Love you all. Bye for